our part two on our series of consideration. Did you know that engagement, being engaged, is a good starting point for the next 50 years? It's going to be a good practice for the next 50 years of your marriage. If you're engaged, or if you're single, or if you're married, this applies to you. Consideration is a very powerful tool to be used, even in engagement. My name is Carlos Campos. My wife and I, we are known as the Amish Matchmakers. Why? Not because we're Amish, but because we've helped the Amish. Matter of fact, over 30 couples we've helped to come together in our matchmaking process over the last 6 years. And it's been a beautiful journey. Hundreds of people we've influenced in their marriage, maybe even thousands by now, because we've led many webinars, seminars, tens of thousands of hours of mentorship, and helped others to mentor others. So we've duplicated ourselves and scaled out, hosted retreats and events for marriage, created content called Connection DNA that's all about connection and affection and relationships. Yeah, we've done a lot over the last 6 years, and we're excited to have you here today. So, would you consider liking, following, commenting while you're here? We're going to be talking about consideration. It's a four-part series all about consideration and the different ways of consideration and how it affects different parts of your relationship life. While you're single, now today is about engaged. Tomorrow will be about marriage. And then on Friday, we'll talk about legacy and having children and what how consideration applies to that in your life. So here we go. How does it affect your life in engagement? It's just not planning one day, it's actually rehearsing for decisions you'll make for the next 50 years. Most couples spend time picking a venue, more time picking a venue than they do on how to decide anything together. It's a skill to learn how to decide things together, but you're still picking the venue. You're still picking the date and going back and forth with your families, trying to decide what's the best date. Well, I will tell you what's really good is for you to make a decision. Here's what happens: the engagement season gets loud, wedding planning, two families with opinions, money conversations nobody wants to have, guest lists, timelines, and underneath all of it, 100 small decisions that reveal exactly how two of you will handle each other for the next 50 years and how you handle things when it actually costs you something. Money, it matters and it makes a difference. And some people, some couples avoid every hard conversation because they don't want to fight during the happiest season of their life. So they assume instead of asking, which we know what assume is, right? If you spell it out, ASSUME makes it out of you and me. It does. It really does. So attack what's attacking you, what you're feeling, but you can do it in a good, beneficial way. It does matter. They go along instead of speaking up. They tell themselves they'll figure it out after the wedding. Once we're married, we'll figure this out, right? And then they're married, and every one of those avoided conversation is still sitting there waiting. Hmm. Engagement was never about the wedding. It's a trial run for the marriage. Every decision you make in the season is teaching your future spouse what it's like to be on your team with you. Are you considerate under pressure? Do you ask or do you assume? There's that word again, assume. Do you protect their voice when your family pushes back? This is a training ground for the rest of your married life. It's a very powerful one, can be very beneficial and utilized. This is why we have our three core activities. Those of you that have followed us, by the way, if you haven't followed us, would you go to our YouTube channel, Amish Matchmakers, and like our page there or like our channel there uh, and hit the notification bell so that when we create content and go live, like I am, and I actually am live, I love the comments and the posts people put, and I'm grateful when you do. And so, would you be considerate? Have consideration because you're liking and commenting and also reposting this content or even Subscribing, hitting the notification bell will actually increase our algorithms and more people will see it. So you do make a difference, I promise. So take the time to do that. It will help others to see our content and hopefully help them in their marriage, help them in their engagement process. So if the engagement is the trial run for the wedding, or excuse me, for the rest of your life, is the wedding is the trial run, then every decision you make in this season is teaching your future spouse and you how to connect and how to go through things, how to process. So let's go here though. You got a pen and paper. Hopefully, if you're watching the recording or if you're live, you can write this down. A question: what conversation have you been avoiding because you don't want to disrupt a good season? Well, what if we it can contribute to a good season? It is possible. So, three ways consideration shows up in engagement. One, joint decisions instead of assumptions. Consideration will ask questions. Inconsiderate will assume and then calls it a surprise. I want to surprise you with this. No, that's not honoring. And it's inconsiderate. If it affects both of you, decide it together. Even the small stuff. Ask. And he may tell you, look, you decide all the colors and all the decor. I don't want to be involved in that. And that's okay. But he may want to be involved in that. He may tell you, I don't like the pink tie. Can I wear a green one instead? I don't know. Number two, honoring both families. You're not just joining two people, you're joining two histories, two sets of traditions, two sets of expectations. Consideration means you protect your spouse's family relationships as carefully as you want them to protect yours. And you protect your spouse from your own family when they push back. This is important. There will be pushback. And the number one starter pushback is the date of the wedding. Oh my goodness. You need to make the decision as a couple and then let everyone meet you there. I know. Well, I want to know. It's important that my parents are there. Yes, it is. And they'll be there. It's important that Auntie, my favorite auntie is, yes, she'll be there. Set the date. Even doesn't need to be 2 years away. Doesn't need to be 6 months away even. If you want it in 4 weeks, do it in 4 weeks. I promise you. You can do it if that's what you want. 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you decide. But you decide and then move forward and let them know of what you've decided, and they'll join you. They love you, I promise. So, number three is naming expectations out loud early. Money, the in law situation, kids, traditions for holidays, where you'll live, how you'll raise the kids, even how you want to handle conflict. Consideration means say the hard things now, gently, instead of letting your spouse discover it later. Are you following me? It makes for such a better marriage, I promise. So work on that now. Now, one more thing I want you to write down is this question: what is one expectation you're carrying that you never actually said out loud to them? Even if you're married already, or if you're just dating. This is a beautiful muscle to exercise. Communication, connection, and it's part of relationship. I promise you, it really is. It matters, and it will help in the long term of this relationship. Amos 3:3 says, it's a Bible verse, that thing called the Bible. You know what that is? Yeah. Okay, so Amos is a chapter in the Bible, or is a book in the Bible, excuse me. And chapter 3, verse 3 says, can two walk together unless they are agreed? That is part of getting in synchronicity. Now, autonomy is beautiful. Yes, your voice matters, but getting into synchronicity and agreement doesn't mean that you're always um, that your voice doesn't matter. How about that? Or that you're always going to say exactly the same thing. But agreement, getting in flow and synchronicity is powerful and beautiful. It isn't automatic though. It gets built in conversation, in consideration before you ever say I do. So talk about the hard things like money. Don't be afraid to let her know or him know that you do have some debt. Talk about it early and that you want to attack it and work on it together. Give them the freedom. Be the first to talk about it. And then how about the intimacy? What do you fear about intimacy? Maybe are you a virgin? Or maybe you're not a virgin. You're afraid to even talk about that stuff. Look, these are powerful, important things. Chantel and I have helped many couples to address these things head on so that you can have an epic marriage and an epic wedding night. Being considerate matters. This week, have the conversation you wrote down. You had a couple of questions I asked you. You wrote them down, hopefully, not to win these conversations, but to understand them, to have understanding. Ask questions to gain understanding, gain clarity. If you're already married, it still applies. There's an expectation you've never named. I guarantee it. Go name it. I shared this in lot in our last and I shared this before, and so maybe you've heard this story. But one of the things that was interesting is Chantel and I first got married, having to do with intimacy and kissing. I was very aggressive, way too much tongue, and way too aggressive. And she finally said, "Look, I'm not enjoying the way you kiss me." And what's interesting is I wanted to please her. I wanted her to enjoy it. So, well, I was super duper grateful that she shared it with me in such a kind, honoring way. And she said, "Let me show you, I enjoy it better when you do this and this. And you're not so aggressive with your tongue, and you're gentle, and you have some suave and some really good flow to it." And guess what? She loves my kissing now. I've had years and years of practice. But I'm telling you, that first beginning of our kissing, it was miserable for her. No, it wasn't miserable, but it was too aggressive. But I was willing to learn. I'm glad that she talked to me about her expectations. I made the change, and now, oh my goodness, I love our kissing. I love our makeout sessions, and we still have them, by the way, even after being married for over 15 years now. It's so awesome. And I'm super grateful for my beautiful bride, my queen, Chantel. We are the Amish matchmakers. And again, not because we're Amish, but because we help Amish to match up and get married, singles to find their spouse, and couples to create epic marriage, and then epic marriages to become epic legacies rooted in faith, freedom, and above all else, love. God bless you. Thanks for being here today. Next time, tomorrow, we're going to talk more about consideration and how it looks once the wedding's over. Now you're into marriage and real life starts, right? What people call real life. Because, oh, now you're married. The honeymoon's over, Chuck. What can we do to be considerate even in that situation in marriage? So God bless you. I hope this finds you well. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the communication and participation on these lives. I'm always grateful for those who tune in, and always grateful for those who let me know that you're here. We'll see you next time on Love Talk with the Amish.